And good morning, and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you guys come into the room, please hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I want you guys to know how much I appreciate you so much. All of the old subscribers, all of the new subscribers, all of the future subscribers, I appreciate you. I express the importance of hitting the like button because it helps to keep the video on the algorithm. Okay. I wanted to talk about you guys, the lawmakers in Tennessee really better do something quick, okay? Because a lot of these young dudes, because they are giving them a get out of jail free card, which I believe was engineered because all of the crime is happening in the black community, so they don't have any issues with helping them to letting them get right back out of jail and go over to the back out to the black communities and destroy the black community because they know black people too scared to come to the white communities, right? So the lawmakers that are making these laws, okay, they don't have a problem with making them less stringent because it makes them money. Crime pays. The lawyers are getting rich, the private prisons are getting rich, the lawmakers are getting rich because they're in bed with the $1 billion uh, private prisons, which means a lot of these judges are involved in this. I've been saying this forever, right? It's all about making money. And as long as it does not touch Germantown, Collierville, even Bartlett, because they have their own police. That's where the rich white people live. Okay. Then they don't have any issues, right? With what is going on, but they got to do something. And, I don't have a problem with Steve Mulroy saying at this point that they're going to start utilizing the death penalty because these folks ought to get their kids. Because now what we see is we have parents, um, um, you know, um, boosting their kids up or encouraging their kids to go and commit crimes. Okay. I was at my mother's house. We have family here from out of town. So I spent the night out at my mom's house, and my aunts and stuff are in the Whitehaven area. So we was kind of back and forth, right? Um, Seeing family members. We got a big family. So I'm always happy when they come down from Indiana. And so um I spent the night with my mother last night, and some of my other cousins and stuff was there. We sitting all in the house and just having fun. All of a sudden we hear pow, 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 pow. Now where my mother lives is very beautiful. Okay, but the gunshots came from somewhere off of Evers Presley, and you could hear the shots, right? So I know y'all can remember some time back, okay, there was a rapper that was shot at the McDonald's on Shelby Drive and Mill Branch. And they according to reports, the rapper was affiliated with Bread Gang or affiliated with I'm trying to think, Big 30 or somebody, okay? I want to go back to that, okay? I want to go back to that. I'm trying to pull it up. If I could pull it up. Um, let's see, man killed at McDonald's drive-through. I don't know if I can find it. I hate to make you all wait. I should have had to pull it up, but I hate looking for stuff while I'm on live. Um, but it was back some months back. I believe it was back in. Um, I know it was back in 2022. Okay, I can't find it right now, but it was back in 2022. And I think I told y'all I was coming down Mill Branch. I had just left. I believe it was my aunt's house, or I was. I was coming from, I may have been coming from, I don't think I was coming from home because you could come Mississippi. It's like 3 minutes up the road, but I never really come that way when I had to have been coming from my aunt's house who lives really off of Mill Branch that morning, because a lot of times my mother will cook breakfast and things of that nature, and one of my aunts, one of my, my great aunts, they'll call, and if I'm there, one of my kids are there, they will always have her to bring us some breakfast. That's how they do it. And so I was coming down Mill Branch, and I was coming down Mill Branch just as that happened. It had just happened because I saw the ambulance there. I saw them bringing one of the people out of the McDonald's on a gurney, but that I'm hearing that person lives. They had already gotten the young man that was on the driver's side. I didn't see him. That's the young man that died. And I was saying they must have seen them pull into that McDonald's because that door was open, right? His door was still open. So he was up at the speaker. So he was ordering. So their face was pointed towards north. Okay. And the person pulled in from them on south, okay, on the south side of them, and they was looking at the menu, so they didn't see it, okay, that they didn't see it. But or pulled in, they might have pulled in front of them, okay, but it was definitely an ambush. But they had already gotten the driver, and I'm hearing that the driver, unfortunately, the driver was killed. But okay, so out at I'm in the Whitehaven area today, right? Because I spent the night with my mother, and I'm going with my cousins back to one of my aunt's house. I'm telling you, that lives off of Mill Branch, closer to the Mississippi area. And we hear bang, 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 bang. I pull over. I mean, the shots just was, and I knew that they was close because my cousin was like, "What the f?" I was like, "We're gonna pull over because I don't know where those shots are coming from," and it's like they would not stop. Okay, so then as when they stopped, okay, we pulled over like in the Southbrook Mall, and then we started back. I started back going down Shelby Drive. Okay, going east on Shelby Drive, and the same McDonald's, the exact same McDonald's. We get there, we hear the ambulance and stuff coming up, the police sirens and stuff are on. They skid into the McDonald's. The shooting, if it appears, had happened there, or the person ran there or something. But all of the fire trucks, the ambulances, the police, they're all going into that McDonald's. Y'all, it's a darn shame. Before God, I'll never eat at that McDonald's again. And then what makes so sad, people still in the line. I wouldn't want no nasty sausage and biscuit from McDonald's. You know that bad. And they might have been trying to be nosy, but y'all, it's a darn shame before God. What is going on? They're going to have to do something. These folks, it's a darn shame how I hear, but it's mostly criminals who have committed criminalistic acts their whole life, whether it's physical crimes or white collar crimes or whatever. Crime is a damn crime. That have issues with police, have issues with laws. What they would love is for the police department to be defunded. How in the hell y'all think y'all can live in a lawless society? These folks already don't give a damn about themselves. If they don't care about themselves, if they defund the police, if all they want is for for them to get rid of the police so they can feel comfortable enough to just hit your door and walk up in your house and say, "Hand me your daughter," since all of these niggas getting into human trafficking. If you don't believe me, you better ask somebody. Okay? All right? And it's a bunch of cuckabug heads that has gotten heavily into human trafficking. Okay, targeting young girls and stuff on YouTube and all of that. And they got these nothing ass women working with them. Bitches. Oh, I'm getting mad as hell. Okay? Because women ought to be ashamed of themselves. All right. Lord forgive me, it's Sunday. But I guess I'm hot. I'm mad as hell. Okay. I was supposed to go to church and left one of my church shoes at home and had to come home. All right. And decided just not to go back. Okay. But I think it's a darn shame before God what is going on. And so they want a lawless society. We was, like I said, we was sitting up in my mama's house laughing and kikiing and having fun because I love my family. I be loving when, because I grew up with them, even though they were in, the other half was in Indiana. We have a family reunion every year. So we was sitting in my mama's house last night, me and my cousins and my aunts, and laughing from out of town. And my mama sees something on her camera. The little the little boys from across the street, the little grandsons, they're about 11 and 12 and 13 years old. They ride their bike all the way up into, up under, she had a garage up, all the way up in the garage. We don't know them like that. My mama said, what in the world? These little boys up in the garage. It went off on the phone. She said in the garage on their bikes. Now you have to be careful about that because a lot of times adults send kids out and tell them to go do stuff. Now, why in the world? I hurry up and ran to the door. My mom said, sit down. I said, no, I'm going and see what is going on. They rolled their little butts back up out of their garage on back over across the street, looking back at me. So they was up for no good, right? But I think it's a shame. The lawmakers are going to have to do something immediately, okay? But this is what they wanted. That's the reason why they made the gun laws less stringent. They're doing one or two things. They want it for crime to get out of control. When it gets out of control, it puts more money in their pocket, okay? Because they're and they're lawyers and judges and things of that nature. They have companies where they sell sheets and stuff like that to the jails, to the private prisons. These lawmakers are in bed with private prisons. And things of that nature. So they pay them up under the table because these are billionaires. So they want for crime to get out of control, okay? But I think it's a shame when all Black people have to do is come together and put the right politicians in, hold their feet to the fire and make them get jobs, bring jobs into the community. But a lot of folks, I keep saying that poverty ignites crime. And when people are poor and drugs are dominating the community, it takes people off of the top of their game. They lose jobs, or they can't get jobs, or they're not motivated. They're putting drugs into the community so that kids can get on drugs early on, so that they can never attain any type of trade, right? um, don't have the mindset to go in and get any type of education or any type of skill. They are definitely doing a work on the Black community. And, I don't put it on all of the white people, like the everyday white people that we see. There is a secret society, which is why it bothers me when I see other Black people. And I know a lot of people feel like participating. Okay. I know a lot of Black people say that I'm hard on Yo Gotti and the people like Yo Gotti and all of them. Yes, it bothers me so much because I'm very woke and conscious of what's going on when people can, that is in the exact same community, okay? Because what Yo Gotti don't understand is he's just one leg from being right back, or one step from being right back to where he was, or the position that he was in North Memphis, okay? And he come from that struggle. He get into the music industry. He knows exactly how they raped him financially with contracts and things of that nature in the music industry. And he gets with that system to take out somebody like Young Dolph, who had actually learned the recipe. When people get through saying, well, Dolph he was saying this, he said this, he said that, a person can say whatever they want to say. Nobody has the right to violate them. Young Dolph was not harassing Yo Gotti. Young Dolph was throwing shots back at Yo Gotti publicly. He was doing the same thing to Yo Gotti publicly that Yo Gotti was doing to him behind the scenes, because he was throwing rocks and hiding his hands. Young Dolph was not hiding his hands. But if we put in the right politicians and held their feet to the fire and made them bring jobs into the community, and I'm talking about good jobs, okay, we could win. That's the same thing that white people do. They hold their politicians, whoever run for positions within their community, they hold their politicians' feet to the fire. And we don't do that because we're too busy trying to bring down the next black person. And that's the reason why I fight like I do, because I work hard. I'm not going to let a bunch of crabs in a barrel, bottom feeding motherfuckers who ain't used to shit anyways, that ain't going to never have nothing, bring me down to the bottom. So I tell you what, you doing dirt. You gonna mess with me and you know you doing dirt. Okay. So before you pull me down, I'm gonna have them folks to pull you down. Okay. And it's sad that black people have to put their energy. Nobody wants to put their energy into showing people you don't violate me. I shouldn't have to be on here fighting with men that are insistent on violating me. No woman should. But this is an example of and the women, because a lot of these women do it because these men send them out to do it. You's a sick bitch if you letting a man, you doing something, you violating somebody because some man, some bottom feed nigga that ain't even got nothing, can't give you nothing. Okay, send you out. All right. I think some things are just too bottom of the barrel for me, bottom of the pond. Okay, that's it's just too muddy for me to even do. But I know we all have different mentalities. I just don't have a mud mentality. But if I have to get dirty, I'm gonna win. Okay, I'm gonna win. But it's sad what we do to our very own community. These young dudes ain't got nothing to look up to. Look at how these men get on here and what they do on here. These men are the ages that a lot of their fathers are. If this is what they got to look up at home, what how you think they're gonna act out in the street? Look at what some of these women do. Their women are supposed to be models. They have always been models of everything: the household, the church, the job, anything. Women set the tone. Okay. Everybody always looking at women, even though the man is the head, the women set the tone, because if she ain't happy, ain't nobody gonna be happy. Okay. But if a child is looking at their mother sit up on the phone, gossip all day, be gossipy, tear a house down, looking at you look like your MF and daddy. Yeah, your MF and daddy ain't. Let me tell you something. Regardless to whatever issues my kids' fathers and I had, and I got two kids and I got two different baby daddies. Okay. And people try to make it, well, she got different baby daddies. Sure do, because when one don't do right, I mean, at least I wasn't having babies, all of them with one that I knew wasn't no good. He didn't do right. I tried to go get me another one and he didn't do right either. So I got rid of him. Okay. But whatever issues, okay, that I had with their fathers, my kids never knew it, which is why they love their dads to this very day. And I know what I went through with them. Okay. Whatever it was, I never told my God, your daddy don't love you, because whatever we went through, they had their times where they went through, they did spiteful stuff and things of that nature, but I was not going to communicate that to my children. I never wanted my girls to feel like my own daddy don't care about me, because even when they weren't acting right, I knew they loved their girls. I understood that whatever they was doing, it was at me. Okay. And it just so happened they were stupid enough to make their children casualty of it. But guess what? Hey, I never spoke about it to my girls. And even now when my one of my daughters said, when I went to dinner with my dad, he was like, I'm so sorry for everything I did when you was growing up, as far as sometimes when I wouldn't call for months and things of that nature when you were a baby. And she's like, Mom, I don't never remember that. And he's talking about he apologizing. I don't even know what he apologizing for. I don't remember none of that stuff. You know why? Because I did not etch that into my kids' heads. Okay. And they love their daddies. They love them to death. Even my oldest daughter's dad, Lord knows that's a story right there. At her baby shower, he walked up into me and said, I showed thank you. I showed thank you that you didn't cut me out because I ain't even worthy of being here celebrating. But I showed thank you. And when her daddy calls her, because he's sick now, she go, I had to go take my dad to grocery and this, and that. He talk about how thankful he is because even when he turned his back on her and was it, doing what he was supposed to do for the other ones, because he was able to, I guess, play in those women's tails. I didn't want him no more. Okay. He didn't do what he was supposed to do for her. That one is the one that takes care of him, mine. And that's because I never put anything in her head. I was like, if they're going to form an opinion of their fathers, they're going to form an opinion based on what they see. But guess what? By the time they started getting older, their dad is, started, I guess, doing right. I got to throw a little dig in. I guess after I had them raised them and stuff, I guess they felt like it was easy to come in when they was almost grown. They look at this, so I have to go ahead and throw a little dig. I had already did all the work, okay? But anyways, I knew that their dads loved them. So I was not going to, tell them your daddy don't love you, your daddy ain't this, your daddy ain't that. I would never make my girls feel invalid like that. Because when you do stuff like that, you make your girls start thinking, well, my own daddy don't love me, and they just don't, girls need to be validated by their fathers. They need to know that their fathers love them, right? So I know I got into a whole lot of stuff, but I say the Black community has to come back together. And I always say, until there is, some reconciliation with the Black man and the Black woman, everything is going to always be off balance in the Black community, because Black men and Black women are stronger together. Even if you got kids and y'all can't be together or whatever, raise your children. Don't bring all of that hostility and anger and all of that chaos into your child's life. Let your children be kids. I never said, well, my children is my best friends. You hear women saying that my son is the man of the house. Bitch, your son 9 years old. Let him be a damn child. I don't need no man. My son is the man's of the house. So when you do get a man that might want to come in and do you right, you done put this boy in a man's place since he was 9 years old. He might not want to take to that. Let these kids be kids. Stop smoking weed and snorting powder and stuff all in front of. I had smoked the weed with my children, sis. I never wanted to be whatever I was feeling. My daughters never would have knew it, because I wanted for my girls to be kids. Okay? Our community needs some help. And so it bothers me when I see women sitting up talking about, well, my son is the man in this house. You teach him how to be a man the best way you can, baby. I want you to grow up to be the best man you can. I'm going to instill values in you, but you ain't the man of this house. Okay? You a child. Take him to the park sometimes. Instead, you have him sitting up talking about, we smoked it. If I don't smoke weed with him, he gonna smoke weed with somebody else. Y'all, our folks need help. That's the reason why I say, even with trying to help these kids, and I have a passion for it, I'm continuing my dad's program, especially with the reading and helping them to get their GED. And I was in a meeting about a week ago where I want counselors and things of that nature. But I got to talking about, when I was presenting my program to some people, here's the thing. Not only do I want the children in it, I want the mothers in it. Most households are single mothers. If we try to help these kids, they at home more than they gonna be with us. They going right back home to a toxic family. Mama broke, busted, and disgusted. Maybe we can help her to get a job, but 9 times out of 10, okay, we got to help her to get her mind right, because you ain't nobody gonna have you answering their phones up at a job, a desk job with green hair in your head. They ain't gonna argue with you on their job. Well, I got the right to have green's hair in my head. Don't nobody want you disfiguring their job. First, we got to help them to get off drugs. Because a lot of them on some type of pill. But we have politicians that help the white power brokers for some money to help to keep the Black community in bondage, y'all. Our community needs some help and some repair, okay? Y'all know I always get into a preach, but you know, when going past that McDonald's again, I don't know if they were shooting in those apartments and the people, but that was a long way to run. They might have been over at that gas station, but I don't even think it's open yet. It had to have been in that McDonald's lot because that's where the police, the fire department, and the ambulance was. I said, it's a darn shame before God. I mean, and it was about 20 shots that went off. That it was like they wasn't gonna stop. That's the reason why we had to pull over. And that was early this morning, about 8 o'clock. Ought to be at somebody's job, but they can get up to go slide. Okay. And so, but these kids are a direct product of their households. Okay. All right. And so the parents got to be blamed. If they want some help, it's got to be some help for them. But we look at helping the children, but we send them everything that we might teach them. They're going back home to a household, okay, and unlearning everything if they made to think that they putting all that pressure on his shoulder. He the man of the house. I told him he's 10 years old. He the man of the house. He know he's supposed to act better. No, that's a 10-year-old child. Okay. He ain't no man of the house. Okay. And so, you know, a lot of these women got to do better. Okay. And I know there are a lot of mothers that do the best that they can. That's the reason why I don't let nobody annihilate no women. I can't stand for no man to sit up to my, yeah, these women, my son like that because his mama. Motherfucker, you ain't even taking care of your kids. You don't even go around your kids. I get tired of people giving these men a pass, annihilating the women, and some of them need to be because they know better. Okay. But they want to annihilate a woman that is trying. She got 6 kids. Yeah, she got 6 kids. She shouldn't have had let this no good dude pump 6 babies in her, but she got them now. She's supposed to let them starve. So she out working 2 jobs while he's sitting up time. She leave my kids at home. That's a nigga that ought to be shot. I'm just going ahead and tell you that right now. You ain't even helping that woman with your 6 kids. But you can sit up and criticize her and you ain't hitting a lick at a snake, nigga. But people are so dead set on trying to dog good women out or women that are trying out and letting these no good scoundrels go free with no responsibility. And that ain't the way it's supposed to be. Okay. I used to hear some of my great aunts say, because, you know, back in that time, they had 9, 10 kids, especially when my cousins, and I love my cousins. I love them with all of my heart and soul. But my cousins out in the street, they hardcore street dudes. Okay. I don't know what they do. I just know it probably ain't right. But we love them. Okay. And I remember when they used to have to go to court, you know, the girls would get mad because they didn't put child support on until they got mad. Okay. You know, my auntie would say, and they should have put child support on because I'll be sitting there. I was in the midst of that. I saw my cousins, them. Oh, okay. Well, I ain't gonna give her no money then since she thinks she gonna go and do this and do that. That's how they would do it. Okay. Vindictive, some of them. And I would hear my aunts, they would get real mad when they would have to go to jail or something for contempt of court. Well, you know, I raised all of these boys, all 9 of them. I ain't never put their daddy on no child support. They need to put these girls on child support. My auntie them was wrong. But that's what I'm saying. Like they want to put everything at the feet of these girls and let these men go free with no responsibility. And that's the reason why a lot of them ain't shit now in their 40s. Ain't worth a damn. Okay? But now my cousin them gets money. They was just being low down. They could be mean, okay, to them girls. I don't like the way they treat women. Okay? But that's why I say women need to you know, They need to have some self-worth, because my cousins right now, the ones out in the street, I hear them say to some of my other cousins, and they always said to us, look, cuz you don't let nobody mistreat you now. This is what you do, this how you do it. They would tell us what to do, but they would go mistreat somebody's daughter. But they was able to mistreat them because they did not have any self-esteem. And that's the reason why I say there has to be some reconciliation in the Black community, especially with the Black man and Black woman. Okay. But until then, people gonna have to get up off the crack and stuff, off the fentanyl, off of all these drugs, and come together and strategize so that we can help to bring our community out of bondage. The first thing we got to do is get a lot of these no good politicians out. Okay. And trying to overthrow the police so that your boyfriend and your sons can go and rape more women ain't it. Okay, because that's all that's going on without going to jail. That ain't it. It, as a matter, it ain't gonna happen anyways. But I said that to say this: there has to be a different mindset in our community, y'all. And I know this video is long. I was not intending to go on this long. Y'all know I can go on and on, but guess what? I'm coming on live tonight. Okay. So I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. So I'm gonna cut it short because I'm gonna come on live. All right. I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to support the channel, you can definitely support the channel via Cash App. I'll talk with you.